Federal Facebook page.
Yeah, it's Friday morning, and you know what that means. It's time for the first federal program on WROI HD1, RTC Channel 5, and, of course, the first federal Facebook page. Morning, Todd.
Thank you, Paul. Todd Van Sickle here today with Tanner Lee and our guest Joe McCarter from RTC. Going to have a great morning this morning. As I was talking to Paul before the show started, we have to give him some credit because we were giving him a hard time last week about the Browns, but he's the only survivor of the group here, it seems like.
Yeah, we
got a lot going on in sports. Like I said, Paul, congratulations to the Browns. Next game, when is that? Saturday, Sunday?
Saturday, I do believe. You're making me question myself now.
Okay. So that's good news coming up for you then. We're on to sports now, Tanner.
Yes. Sorry about that. I had to fix the
problem.
camera. So, yeah, a lot of sports news going on, a lot of upcoming games. Of course, locally, we got a slate of games tonight. We've got the big Rochester-Tippecanoe Valley boys basketball game tonight. That'll be at Rochester. Rochester's 6-1 and the best defensive team in the state, according to the statistics right now. So, really cool stat there.
Our local team's best defensive team in the state?
They're number one in points allowed, isn't it, Joe? Yep, points allowed right now in the state.
Really great.
So, yeah, definitely Coach Malcolm's the best defensive group he's had in quite a while at least. They host Tippecanoe Valley, who's 2-7. Having kind of a down year, but it's a rivalry game. You throw the records out, the record books out, and it should be a fun matchup.
Well, in most cases you do that.
Yes. Yeah,
You're probably going to bring that up, aren't you?
Yes,
Okay.
I might, just a little bit. And Caston is at West Central. Caston's 3-7. West Central's still looking for their first win of the year, 0-7. And then Winnemax at North Jetson. I should note that Rochester plays at Caston Tuesday night, and it's going to be wipeout night. And that means if you bring a package of baby wipes and you can receive a free bag of popcorn with the purchase of a drink at the concession stand. The wipes will be donated to the Area 5 Moms Group and Fulton County Ministries. So a good kind of upcoming event they got going on there. That's Tuesday night, the Rochester at Caston game. And got some girls basketball action going on tomorrow. Rochester girls play at Tippecanoe Valley tomorrow night. Caston girls coming off a win last night play at Tri-County, and Winnemac at John Glenn. So a lot of high school basketball action going on.
That time of year.
It's that time of year, and you can watch that right on RTC Channel 4 and a couple of the other channels. So
WRI has some games coming up probably soon, right?
Yeah, we got the boys' game tonight, the girls' game tomorrow night. With how flux it is right now, I'm not sure of the rest of the schedule.
Subject to change. Yeah.
Yes.
College basketball, there was a big in-state game played last night between Purdue and Indiana, and well, I'm kind of wearing my Purdue shirt, so I guess that tells what the result was. Purdue won 81-69 over Indiana, and that's their 8th straight win in the series. 5 of those being in Bloomington, which is, I'm still trying to get used to that. Growing up, I didn't see Purdue win a game at Bloomington until I was a senior in high school. But they've won 11 out of the last 12, and it's actually been 1,791 days since IU's beat Purdue in basketball.
It's kind of rubbing it in there.
I gotta get, you know, I always put up with the banner talk, so I kind of have to get what I can in there.
Right?
But,
Joe and I were talking about maybe making this an IU basketball counseling session this morning.
well, there's a lot of fans pretty upset with their head coach right now, I think. But a lot of season left.
You talk about the record. My older brother went to Purdue, so in our family it was always kind of like, you know, whoever wins, because what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
Well, used to be at least.
Yeah.
We would shake each other's hand and say, "We'll get you next time."
Yeah.
I don't see that happening right now. You know, the next time maybe the next generation out. It seems like.
Well, they do play again this year. Last game of the regular season, I think it's March 5th or 6th. So
we'll get you next time, okay?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So it's, but it was a intense game at moments last night. It definitely had its interesting moments. Purdue now hosts Penn State on Sunday at 1 o'clock on the Big Ten Network. Assuming that game happens, Penn State hadn't played since December 30th. They've had their last 4 games postponed due to COVID issues.
Wow.
Purdue hasn't had a home game since Christmas. So
That's even more remarkable.
yeah, they've been on the road a lot. So then Indiana was supposed to play Michigan State on Sunday, but Michigan State had to postpone due to COVID issues. They were supposed to play Iowa last night. Couldn't play that game either. So a couple teams in the Big Ten, COVID's starting to kind of wreak havoc on. So hopefully everybody gets through that all right. And the Butler Bulldogs host number 8 Creighton tomorrow. That game's at 4 o'clock on Fox Sports 1. And 3-8 Notre Dame hosts 3-9 Boston College tomorrow. That game's at 4 o'clock and will be played on the ACC network. And like you mentioned just a moment ago, Todd, the NFL playoffs are this weekend. We have the Rams at the Packers at 4:35 tomorrow on Fox, followed by the Ravens at the Bills tomorrow night at 8:15 on NBC. And then the Browns are at Kansas City Chiefs Sunday at 3 o'clock on CBS. I hope your Browns win, Paul. As a Broncos fan, anybody but the Chiefs will be fine.
That means you can't watch it if you didn't watch the
That's
last
true.
one.
Yeah.
You gotta stick with what you did.
I never watched, so.
And then on Sunday, you got the Buccaneers at the Saints, 6:40 on Fox, and the Purdue fan in me hopes that Drew Brees can keep winning because whenever they're out, I think he is done. I think he's going to retire.
I think he will retire
I
this
do.
year. Okay.
I think he'll retire. I think Philip Rivers will end up retiring.
Okay.
And it wouldn't shock me if Ben Roethlisberger retires. I think we're going to see a couple big-name quarterbacks step away. So, and
He's had a great career.
Tom Brady, I think, will play one more year. Maybe not. I could be wrong. If they
I don't
win it
know.
all,
I think
maybe he steps away.
I think we've been saying Tom Brady will play one more year for like 5 years
Feels
now,
like
so.
it, doesn't it? I got some tidbits here this morning. On this day, 1844, the University of Notre Dame received its charter in the state of Indiana. On this day, in 1870, the donkey was first used as a symbol of the Democratic Party. On this day, in 1892, the rules of basketball was first published in the Triangle magazine, written by James Naismith. On this day, in 1974, the TV show Happy Days premiered on ABC. And on this day in 2001, Wikipedia was launched.
Yeah.
The great resource source that anybody can edit. So
Yeah.
I don't know how great it is, but it's pretty popular. And today is National Hat Day, also National Bagel Day, Strawberry Ice Cream Day, and Pothole Day. Potholes are something we're too familiar with living in
Especially in the winter.
Yes,
Strawberry ice cream kind of seems out of character for Indiana in the winter,
it
but
does. But
You know, I
Always
know a
good
lot of
treat.
people who seem to eat ice cream more in the winter than in the summer.
okay, that's
So.
interesting.
yeah, good all year round, I guess.
Yeah.
It's one of the major food groups, right?
I think so.
Okay.
I'll go for it. Yeah, sounds good to me.
So moving on then, upcoming events. The Fulton County Chamber of Commerce and the Fulton County Farm Bureau are hosting a 2021 Legislative Breakfast Series in a virtual format, and that starts tomorrow at 8 a.m. on the Fulton County Chamber of Commerce Facebook page. So encourage everybody to check that out. The Akron's Lions Club will be selling fried fish tomorrow at the Akron Community Center from 4 to 6 p.m. or until sold out. Cost us $9 per pound, and curbside pickup is the only thing available. So that's from 4 to 6 tomorrow for fish, and then you've got the legislative briefing tomorrow morning breakfast series starting at 8 a.m. So check that out, everyone. Money news. The Dow was down a little bit yesterday, but it's still at near all-time record highs of about 30,900 plus. Another money news, President-elect Joe Biden, as we said, will be inaugurated on Wednesday. Last night he proposed an additional 1.9 trillion, that's with a T, trillion, additional stimulus package. The package includes bigger stimulus checks, looks like another $1,400, more aid for the unemployed and the hungry and those facing eviction, and additional support for small businesses, state and local governments, increased funding for vaccinations and testing. So that'll go before Congress in the next few weeks, and probably see that get approved to help us out through the coronavirus situation we're in. Speaking of stimulus checks, Powerball, Mega Millions. It's our chance right now. Powerball's up to $640 million for for Saturday night's drawing. Mega Millions is $750 million. So if you're not happy with your stimulus check you might be getting, consider buying a lottery ticket, support the state of Indiana, and
Yeah.
do it wisely though. So good luck if you're playing that. Unfortunately, some news in our local economy. Stock and Field is closing all 25 of their locations, and that does impact our Rochester location. We're talking about a little bit technology with Joe McCarter here today, and Joe was helping us out a few minutes ago because we were having camera problems. Thank you for that, Joe.
Yeah, I picked up a skill this morning.
But also a technology person. GM introduced this week a concept flying car named the Cadillac Halo at the 2021 Virtual Consumer Electronics Show.
You guys gonna get one of those?
It's a concept car. I've always liked, seeing those concept cars, and some of those become reality. I did hear that George Jetson is their major manufacturer and designer. Then last part of money news, the important part, Taco Bell has reintroduced nacho fries.
Yes.
Never had them.
Oh, they're good.
They're good?
They're good.
Okay. That's our money news today. I want to remind everybody that First Federal, even though Martin Luther King Day is happening on Monday, will still be open our drive-up lanes. We're open today, our normal hours, drive up until 5 o'clock. And tomorrow's hours are 8:30 to noon. Our drive-up lanes are open, and we are accepting appointments for special bank services like mortgage loan applications and some opening of new accounts. Remind everybody we have the best free checking accounts around. We still have the gift of a copper frying pan, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And that goes on for a few more weeks. You can also use our online app, our mobile app. They're free to download. Our ATM's open 24/7 if you need cash. We also offer insurance services now. So if you have an interest in that, take a look at our webpage. You can find out more information about insurance services. And then our mortgage products. We had a great year in 2020 thanks to our customer base out there, and almost doing $600 million in loans and helping 3,600 customers. We're continuing that into 2021. We still have a special rate program going on for purchase loans where you'll get a credit of $500. And then also we looked at restructuring our interest rates, so we're going to have the most competitive and best interest rates out there starting out in 2021. So if you're looking to move, refinance, or move up to a different house, don't hesitate to contact us, Ben Dalton or Stacy Wilson. They can help you out, walk you through the process, and help you keep your dream home and maybe get a better dream home. Lindy Breeden's out in our community making loans for small business, so if you have an interest in that, give Lindy Breeden a call. So like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's always kind of some interesting posts out on our YouTube channel, some educational things, some history things, so check us out there. We're the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. You don't want to be the biggest, just the best. Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines, and we are FDIC insured and an equal housing lender. Our NMLS number is 399927. I do the right number of 9s there, 399927.
Makes us legal.
Well, we welcome Joe McCarter today. Joe McCarter has been involved in our community a long time. Does a lot for our community, president of RTC, and talking a little bit about technology today and the impact they're making in our community to improve services and be up in the latest and greatest for our community. Welcome, Joe. How are you today?
Thank you. Good. Appreciate you having me.
No problem. We were talking a little bit before the show started. COVID-19 has impacted us all, and it's impacted RTC too. Why don't you give us a little highlight about some things you've been through, some things you're doing with coronavirus?
Yeah, obviously it has impacted everyone. We are considered an essential business, so as it impacted us, we had to, while keeping our employees and customers safe, we obviously had to continue to provide our services. And I was really proud of the job that our folks did in 2020 and continue to do in 2021 to do just that. Obviously, initially we were very careful. We had a lot of cooperation from customers in understanding the uncertainties and the need to protect our employees, because obviously if we lose employees to COVID or quarantine, it becomes very difficult to provide those services. So, but I think probably once we got through March, April, early May, we started being able to go back into the homes more on a regular basis, very well protected with protective gear. But our service techs have done a really, really great job in adapting, doing things a little differently to keep both themselves and our customers safe.
That's great. With the COVID-19 also, the school system presented some unique opportunities maybe that nobody really thought about, and with schools being in and out and e-learning. Would you tell us how you felt out with that?
I think there's a misconception out there that everybody has internet that can get it. Obviously, we have fiber to the prim throughout our community, and we have fixed wireless where we don't have fiber. But there's a lot of households that just can't afford internet or choose not to take it. So that was probably the biggest thing that we saw while we're trying to kind of slow down and be very careful. We got an onslaught of requests from our local schools for students that had obviously been sent home when the schools closed that needed internet to e-learn. So that was a monumental task for us. Great cooperation, communication from each of our schools in the county, and we ended up in a matter of about three to 4 months, we connected over 100 student homes that had not previously had internet.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that allowed those students basically to still participate in the school activities and continue their education, and that was a real need, basically, that the schools kind of reached out, and you reached out to them and worked out a scenario where you can make that happen.
Yep. And that's the one thing I would like to mention. Giant kudos to our area superintendents. This COVID thing, while we mentioned how it impacts all of us, to be running a school system and to have accountability for transportation and food services, and obviously parents want their students in, and our educators want students in, but at the same time having to deal with COVID and the safety factors around that, their job has just been huge, and I think they've all done a great job.
And that's also in mind as you run a business and the bank tries to do the banking business. Things change daily and weekly sometimes.
Sure
So
does.
the plans we made last week need to get revisited and improved, and the school's doing that on a day-to-day basis too. So that's congratulations to how they've done that. So
Absolutely. And as Paul said, our athletic schedules change daily. So that's just another example of what our school administrators are dealing with. We also set up some hotspots around the county, and we've seen pretty good use from those for folks that maybe didn't want or we couldn't get to quickly enough.
So for our listeners, what is a hotspot?
A hotspot is basically a wireless access point that you can go to and connect. And we have several hotspots around the community in general. We've always had one at the Little League Park, high school parking lot. We have one in our parking lot. But our fixed wireless group, Tim Yarber and the team of his did a very good job of adding to those. So if you're in need of a hotspot, call our front office and they can tell you where those are. We've lifted the passwords off those as well. So
We're talking to Joe McCarter from RTC, and thank you for doing that. That's really a great benefit for our community, that people that may not have reliable access to wireless, that they can go and essentially get their homework done in a parking lot if they need to. There are various locations in the community.
yeah, not ideal to do it in the parking lot, but better than not being able to do it at all.
That's true. So what other things is RTC doing? You had a great year in 2020. What were some of the projects completed?
Yeah, I mean we're very busy. We did complete our new core network. It's built. We have not gotten all services moved over. I tell folks it's like trying to change tires on a semi truck going 65 miles an hour down the highway, because
I've heard that this week.
Yeah, we can't. we can't just shut down. But we are moving services. We will continue to do that. Hopefully, we'll get all services moved by probably second, third quarter of this year.
What does that mean for your end customer?
much higher quality of service, reliability increased, and that's probably the biggest thing. We've also edged our core network out, so we've got electronics closer to the customer. We've increased redundancy, so a lot of those things that were, it was just past due, and at some point you got to take a step back and go, we need to rebuild this, and that's what we decided 2.5 years ago.
So by edging out, I know in the old days, the old telephone systems, a lot of times it depended how close you were to the central office. So what you're doing is taking your equipment out to your customers, so there's better access and less miles traveled and things like that.
Less miles traveled, more redundancy. If you get a fiber cut, it affects a spur versus maybe everybody. All of the above.
Now, thanks to RTC, our community is really very unique in having the fiber services that we do have available, especially from a local company where the people that work there are the people you see in the grocery store and at church. And thank you for what you do for our community. Having fiber for a community our size is pretty unusual in Indiana, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly when the phone company, when RTC started the process, it was they were one of the first. Alan Terrell had the foresight to say this is something that needs to be done and is going to be valuable for our customers for a long time. It certainly was. Every day now you see, whether through federal stimulus, state stimulus, more and more communities and more providers building fiber. But as far as to our exchange, the 223, 224 exchange, we've been built out about 10 years now.
And it's great that we have a local company that does that for us too. It's not somebody in a different city, in a different state that we have to call to make sure service is up or things are being provided like we want. It's a local number, 223, and you see the trucks around here.
Yep. Local number, local employees, live in the community, and we think that's very important.
And you're involved in the community and other things too. I know that RTC gets involved in a lot of community things like providing the wireless at the Little League Park, things like that. So you do a lot of things for the community too.
Yep, we try to help when we can. Obviously, we're busy like everyone, but when someone asks for something, whether it's our line crew gets out there, help hang signs, the new welcome sign, just things like that, we like to be able to do.
I'm on the United Way board, and I know that RTC helped us out with the COVID situation this year. Running the United Way campaign was not as easy as we used to go out into the places of work, and RTC volunteered their services for us to create a virtual campaign video, and thank you for that. And the United Way campaign is wrapping up, and we're really close to the end, so if you haven't participated, please do, and thank you to Joe for getting us that video. We know it's been shared out there and used with employers, so that's been helpful too. That's your involvement in the community, and we appreciate that.
You bet.
So what's new coming up for RTC on the horizon in the next couple of years?
Well, we continue to edge out our fiber footprint. Like we said, we feel fiber is very important, and so there's a couple areas in the county that we're going to tackle within the next 12 to 18 months, small pockets that we feel we can get to. We see a lot of growth in Marshall County with our partnership with the RMC, Marshall County RMC, and those are probably the growth aspect for a company like us. We just have to continue to grow, obviously with the pressure on cable TV and how tough that business is, both for us and our consumers. We just have to continue to try to grow that internet and voice footprint.
Is that all that's changing with the cable company and cutting the cord and things like that?
Yeah, and we really encourage our customers to take a look at cutting the cord because the cable business for us is, I would say it's a pass-through business, but it's even worse than that. It is a very tough financial business for us, and we know that it's a big burden on our consumers in just the way that cable TV is done. You can't choose your channels. You're at the beck and call of the cable companies themselves as far as the networks, and because they can basically charge you what you want, and then we have to try to pass that along to the consumer. And so we have a lot of tools now. I encourage you to call in and kind of talk about your preferences, and we can help identify the right over-the-top package, and then you just have to utilize your internet.
And because RTC offers high-speed internet at various speeds and and grades that makes that possible. I know that you have a tool even on your website about that, and I kind of went through that myself this weekend to see what it would do. And you know, you just kind of select your channels, and it gives you some recommendations on what packages you should use, and it's a very friendly website to help people do that. So,
Yeah, we think that's going to be very helpful.
and I want to thank also RTC for providing the marquee network, and that's kind of one of the fixed costs you talked about.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a lot of Cubs fans in the area, and you know, now we can get the Cubs and the White Sox, so that's good too. And
Yeah, I don't know. It may be harder to watch this year the way the Cubs are cleaning house, but yeah, it is a good channel, and we enjoy watching it.
yeah. So thank you for what you do in the community, Joe.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate that very much. You know, we have a partner. The bank has a partnership with RTC as our provider, and we work very closely together. And we're thankful for them to help for our success too. So that's great.
We appreciate the partnership with you and all our customers. It's their support and that partnership that makes everything work.
So it's a great success story. RTC is a local company helping us out with our needs and wants that we have with telecommunications. There's local people there that you'll see in the grocery store or out on the street. You know, as you live life in Rochester, and it's a great service that you have for our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Anything else you want to add as we wrap up today?
I hope everybody else has a safe and happy weekend.
And stay safe out there, right?
Yeah.
Paul, have you had a chance to think about the question?
I have.
First email message sent, what year?
1971.
Did you see my paper here, or did you?
No, I knew that when you started rambling them off. Most people think it didn't happen until the 90s when every home computers really became a thing, but we've had computers since the 60s.
It's actually a pretty neat story if you want to read more about this. Ray Tomlinson used a DEC computer to talk to another DEC computer, and that's when they first introduced the @ sign to separate the name and the company, and look where we're at today. And that's what RTC's main business now is, providing services like that.
Yeah,
So, congratulations, another win for you, Paul.
thank you.
Hopefully you get another one on the Browns this weekend.
Let's hope.
So as we wrap up today, I want everybody to stay safe, be healthy out there. Our words of wisdom today are from Bo Jackson. Set your goals high and don't stop till you get there. Great advice for everybody.
Absolutely great advice.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Tanner, today. And have a great weekend, everyone.
And we'll see you guys next week.